Anirudh, 5 minutes, let everyone join.
Okay, yeah, sure, no problem.
Yep.
Hi guys, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
So who's there? How many participants are there, guys?
As of
Only
now,
one,
there's just
two joined.
Yeah, I'm getting echo. Please reduce little sound, guys.
Hi, this is Raghavendra here.
Okay. It's Raghavendra and the other one. Who is the other one, guys?
my name is Anirudh. Anirudh.
Okay, Anirudh.
Raghavendra Usha is there.
I don't know, I cannot see it. Only organizers can see it, I guess.
No. She's in guest house or.
No, she isn't here yet.
Okay. I'm trying to reach her. Okay, Raghavendra, shall we start?
Yeah, I think we can start. If this session is being recorded, she can have a look at it later, I
Oh,
guess. Yeah.
okay.
Only one person.
No, me and Anil were there.
Anirudh.
Hi, Anirudh. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. Raghavendra, first introduce yourself.
So myself, Raghavendra Venkat. I've been working as a business system analyst in New York City, New York, and
Okay.
from past 6 months I've been working there. And after then, as I was learning AWS for being an AWS solution architect since 2016, so learning cloud was just a curiosity for me, and it turned out to be a hobby. And I just want to pursue my career in in cloud environment from here on. So instead of wasting time and being in the other field and gaining other experience, so I wanted to do something which I like, or which I have been liking always. So thinking about starting my career in cloud. So everyone are saying that only learning AWS wouldn't be enough. So I thought DevOps would be the right path for me in guiding through this career. Are you guys able to hear me?
Yes, Raghavendra, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah. So in present technology, what are you working now? Are you using any DevOps tools on GitHub or Git, right?
No, I just know AWS, and from uh, just like to have a reference, I know
Okay.
I know basic things about Git and GitHub, but not
Okay.
anything other than those tools. And I've been using Jira and Confluence as because
Yeah,
it's a
Jira is just
collaboration.
Jira is can be used to only maintain the sprints.
Right, only as because I was working in agile environment, so we had to use it. And even I am a certified Scrum Master.
Agile methodology Jira, right?
Yeah.
Next one, Anirudh, right?
Sorry?
Yes, yeah. So yeah,
Okay.
Yes, please.
this
Can
is,
you introduce yourself?
sure. So again, my name is Anirudh, and I've been working for the last year as a software engineer in the field of networking, basically. So
Okay.
so basically, what I was doing was mainly, while I was doing some software development and mainly in Python, like implementing stuff like socket programming and like basic IPC interprocess communications. Also, at the same time, I was involved in kind of maintaining the network infrastructure, like making sure all the devices that I had in the company were online and everything was like set up well and with the right IP address and everything. So basically, I was doing a kind of monitoring job as well. So I mean, I was
Very good.
going more towards the system administration side of things. So
Okay.
why I was keen on going towards DevOps was because I mean DevOps also, like I mean through DevOps there are certain different tools and mechanisms. I mean, like, so wherein, like, you're also working on the operational side of things as well as you're working on the development side of things. So
Yes,
that is
it is
something that I
giving
really,
automation. Yes, yes. Anyway,
yeah.
short, Raghavendra, you know Linux basics. Both of you know Linux basics commands.
I do know a little bit about very basic commands, but not
Okay.
not more than
So
that.
me
So,
too. So Linux for me as well. Like, basically whenever I'm saying kind of network troubleshooting or anything regarding those, that is when I mainly use. I mean, I worked on a Linux environment basically, so that is when I know those commands. That's about it actually.
okay, okay. So, any Python and shell scripting? You have any idea?
Yeah, I think Anirudh has Python
Yeah,
exposure,
Python. Yes, I do have some certain amount of exposure in Python.
Okay.
and I don't. I really have very minimal knowledge about Python and
Okay.
um,
Right. See that note first of all.
Mhm.
So, about me, Brilliant writes. I'm playing as a technical architect, right? So, I'm involving the project from phase one to from planning to until the deployment. The last 3.5 years onwards, we are using the DevOps tools in a present project. Okay, especially in code management and the build tools, and continuous integration and continuous deployment. Jenkins, especially, we are using that. And configuration tools, we are using the Chef, Puppet, Ansible. So most of the time, we are using Ansible for the configuration, and sometimes we are using the Chef. And code management, as usually, we are maintaining the GitHub, and we are building the tools. We are using the Maven and the Ant, and sometimes we are using IntelliJ and Eclipse tools also. Right. First, so before going to for that, so to develop any application, so what is the tradition of right? So before right jobs introduction, so what is the happening there to develop the applications? So normally, right? So most of the companies following the process, the methodology, the model, that is the software engineering methodology, is SDLC, right? So here in this SDLC, so what the companies used to follow that to develop any application, to develop any product, that may be Java application, maybe .NET, right? Any application development. So there is used to follow the model SDLC. So normally, so what is SDLC saying that? So the very first common phase, the planning, right? Analysis and design.
One second. We are not able to see your screen. If you mind sharing your screen for us.
Yes, Purnima, can you make a presenter?
I did. Oh, one minute.
I'm sorry for interrupting you.
Okay. So, right, can you see that, all of you?
No, not yet.
1 minute.
Yeah, we can see you.
Yeah, we can see.
Right, traditional approach, we are following this SDLC model. Whatever that is SDLC. So what are the different types of SDLC models are there? But very common, the model saying that planning, analysis, design, development, right? And testing and deployment. So these are the very common phases of the every software application development model. So in traditional, what they do in companies, so once the business analysts, they used to meet the clients, or SMEs, they used to ask the client requirements, they understand the requirement, and they used to do the analysis, and they used to do the design. So once design approved by client, then development used to start that. So in development, they will do the developing code and they'll test it, and again correcting errors, right? And again create what is the testers doing the different types of testing, they'll do that. So once everything testing done, then go for deployment. So if anything wrong in the testing, again the phase, right, the process will come back again from design, again development, testing. So this process used to happen traditionally. But so when you select this SDLC for any application development, for any projects, we want automation. So we want the speed of the application development with low risk, with low cost, with high speed of performance. So that is the industry looking for that. So even when DevOps introduced that, the company still follow the model is the SDLC. But the way of working is changing the when companies using the DevOps tool for their projects. You can ask the question here, SDLC are two types of that, right? One is waterfall model, one is agile model. So in waterfall, right, saying the SDLC is the planning and design, development, testing, same common phases. Even agile methodology also saying the same phases: planning, analysis, design, development, testing, deployment. So these two models are same phases. I mean, same stages of the project development. But the different is that the way of working different. There may be any application development, Java or .NET, any application. So only the way of working is changing that. The way of working development is changing that. That is the industry selecting that. So here planning, analysis, design, development, testing, deployment in these stages, right? How industry is going to follow that. We are going to discuss that. So where DevOps is going to apply here, we'll see that in this approach. But right, because of your traditional approach, the companies used to follow that. That is a waterfall, right? But nowadays, most of the companies using that agile, because agile is a very friendly model and very interesting model, and most of the development they're doing with agile methodology because it gives a low risk, and it is a right. It is activating every team member of the project, the agile. So agile, especially the methodology, is the type of agile methodology is Scrum. This is the agile methodology the industry is selecting that. So when agile methodology is selected by a company, that is Scrum, right? So nowadays most of the projects they're using agile methodology. So obviously the reason to use that waterfall when the project is a existing application, but when the project is as a new requirement, then you can go for agile methodology. So if you want to update any existing system, or if you want to add additional features to the existing project or existing application, like the existing product, we can simply go waterfall. But most of the times, we are recommending that when your requirements are new, when the client wants new product or new application, we simply select the agile methodology. Because the way of working agile, it's giving that very low risk for the project development. So obviously, here, if you follow the agile rules, right, the best for the agile methodology is the DevOps. So obviously, that's why I think that when companies using DevOps tool, definitely the project who is working with the DevOps tool, they are following the methodology agile, right? So here, so when traditional approach saying that, right, without DevOps tool, so developers working, testers working, BAs working, business analysts working. So they are doing that. What are the manually, the whatever the planning, designing, requirement changing, again the redevelopment, again the code checking. This is happening that. So when traditional approach saying that without DevOps tool, obviously it is, I told you that the cost is getting very high and time is also very high. But to overcome all the drawbacks and to overcome all the issues, if you want low risk, if you want low cost, if you want high speed performance of the work, if you want immediate delivery, if you want immediate releases, right? If you want automation of the complete process from the planning to deployment, we can select that. The best tools are there, DevOps tools are there. So these DevOps tools, right, giving for that, right, automation. And people think that DevOps is that it's just one type of thing. It is not one thing. You see that DevOps, you can see two words are there, right? Developers and operation team. So developers, the person who is writing coding, who is debugging, who is compiling, the developers doing that. The operation team, the administrators, right, consultants, engineers, DevOps engineers, Linux administrators, operating system administrators, these guys playing the role, right, with in terms of operation wise, and developer where they're writing coding. But here DevOps is not one thing, right? It is not one thing what I'm saying. It is what I'm telling you. It is a set of rules which are predefined, right? Which are predefined. These tools can use for the project development. So what rules saying that every right thing of DevOps tool saying that every tool saying that they have a different rules and different process we can use that and different purpose is there. So what I'm saying that this DevOps tools, if you want to automate the entire project flow on this phase, on this flow of the project from the planning to the deployment, if you want to automate, if you want immediate delivery, if you want immediate releases, if you right, then you can apply the DevOps tool on this SDLC, on this life cycle of the project development, right? On this software engineering methodology. So to apply these DevOps tools, we will get that right, reducing time, reducing cost, and improve the performance and immediate release. That is I'm telling you. So because in this entire SDLC life cycle, when the development team and operations team working together, right? Definitely developers need to follow the project model and operation team need to follow the project model. So when DevOps developers operation team working together from the project phase 1 to until the deployment, then definitely project will be success, right? With immediate delivery, with the immediate releases. Did you get my point, guys? So that is the automation APIs capabilities, right? It is there in the DevOps tools, right? So that's why I'm telling you here the list of DevOps tools, right? To applying that model, whatever model you selected that I told you, the SDLC model, if you apply the DevOps tool, so where is this DevOps tools will apply in the project development lifecycle? So before knowing that, where we need to apply the DevOps tools in the software development lifecycle, first I'll give a list of the right DevOps tools. Right, guys? Still not clear? Yes, Raghavendra Arvind?
Yes, it's clear.
You clear, right?
Yes.
Yes.
So here, the list of DevOps tools. So where we'll get the automation in the project development, right? So here, you can ask the question, why DevOps no need for that? Obviously, that I'm telling you, reducing cost, reducing risk, right, and immediate delivery and a high speed delivery. That means reducing the time also. That is the industry is looking for that. And these DevOps tools, which are open source tools, right, which is the first one is Git and GitHub. And these are the first tool in DevOps, Git and GitHub, which are the code management tools. And second one, Maven, and these are the build tools, right? And Nest tool, Chef, Puppet, and Ansible. So these tools are configuration tools. Okay. These two are configuration tools. Next, Jenkins, which is using for continuous integration and continuous deployment. And next one, Docker. Right, which is for to create that containers. Next one, Nagios, which is using for DevOps engineer. You can use this one for monitoring. So these tools are right completely using for that. When your project is following this model, that SDLC, that model belongs to anything I told you, SDLC, a waterfall or Agile, doesn't matter. But the phases of SDLC is the common for Agile and waterfall. So we will apply these tools in SDLC lifecycle, right? When your project following the complete methodology. So where this code GitHub, these tools can using by administrator and developers and product owner, technical architecture, anybody can use that. But here, these tools are using for that what? Which is using for code management. Okay. What is the code management? Tell me. Suppose now coming to the SDLC lifecycle here, when your project started to work with the planning is obviously the team of who is doing that. The person maybe right BDM, maybe the BAs, they will do that. But in this stage, any DevOps tool used for that? Is there any use of DevOps tool here? Bro, is there any use of DevOps tool here? No. No use. Now, coming to the analysis. So imagine my project is started. We need to work with the DevOps tool. You guys join in the project as a DevOps engineers. So definitely according to your project architecture, what is decided in methodology, according to methodology, will start the work. Now in analysis phase, any use of DevOps tools here? Any use of DevOps tools? Can you guess? There is no any use of DevOps tools in analysis phase. No use. Here obviously the BA guy, the person who is talking to the client to gather the requirement, to understand the requirement, what is the objective of the project, that is a BA. But still now we have no DevOps using that. But I given the list of DevOps tools here already. Some tools I mentioned you, which are very commonly used in the industry projects. So still now in analysis phase also there is no use of DevOps tool here. Now coming to the design. Yes, once understand by requirements by the business analyst, then the requirement need to design in diagrammatically. The diagrams may be the use case diagrams, maybe something, flow chart, something, some sequence diagrams, isn't it? Some designing. Because what the BA understood the requirement, he will design the diagrammatically because it's easy for development. So in designing phase also, there is no use of DevOps tools, isn't it? Clear on point? Now, so developer, they started their work after, right, the architecture diagram, whatever the use case diagram designed by BAs or SMEs or architectures. The once the design diagram, I mean, the architecture approved that, and development will start, right? Developers will come to the place now. The developers may be any technology, whatever the project, Java or .NET, the project may be. Here, developers will come to the role. So how many developers in the project here? Maybe 5 developers maybe in my project. D1, developer 2, developer 3, developer 4, right? So every developer, they have a own task. I mean, they have a own requirements, right? So here, what developer 1, what developer 2, what developer 2, developer 4. So these 4 developers working on the for the project, one of the module 1, they're doing that. In the module 1, 4 requirements doing by developer 1 and another 4 requirements doing by developer 2. another 4 requirements doing by developer 3, another 4 requirements doing by developer 4. So this is module 1. This is traditional we're calling, but according to agile methodology, we are calling sprint 1, the first module of the project, the sprint 1, isn't it? So here the developer is going to write the code. So where they will write the code? So they will have different tools are there. They will use IntelliJ, maybe Eclipse, isn't it? They can use different tools to write the code. So when developer writing code, that all the files, whatever all 4 developers, they have a right GitHub account. The person who has managed the GitHub account or senior administrator. So they will take the all what they're recording into the GitHub. So I told you GitHub here, which files? Program files. Storing into the GitHub. So I told you it's a source code management. Did you get my point? Clear my point?
Yes, yes,
There
yes.
is a link. There is a link with the IntelliJ and Eclipse with the GitHub. Whatever developer writing coding, whatever is updating, whatever everything is updating and changing, with the different versions are storing into GitHub. Right? So to manage this GitHub files, right? Git tool is there. It is a command line interface. So using this Git command and interface, we can manage the program files. I mean, we can commit it, we can drop that, we can change that. So this CLI useful for that. Very easy to manage this GitHub program file. What are the program files in the GitHub? So here GitHub is inbuilt. GitHub is can work inbuilt on top of Git tool. So like this, the developers start to work on the writing the code for the specific module that we are calling according to agile methodology is sprint 1. You get my point? So this sprint 1 doing with multiple developers depends on the project team size. So once the code is doing by developers uploading to GitHub doing that. So development starting. So whatever developer doing that at the same time, right testing testers also they will do that. That means they will do that QI, isn't it? This QI team will test the files. Got a point? Understand? So once QA confirm for all the things, then next tools. What up in that? We want deployment. Here deployment means what? We want to deploy the whatever delivery to the servers. That may be single server, that may be multiple server of the project. But here, if you want continuous, because where the developer started to write the code, right, in IntelliJ Eclipse, continuous code is updating, the changing, the code is compiling, and tester doing the testing, and it is continuous to the integration to the servers. Here, if you want continuous integration, there is a configuration needed. For the configuration, we are using, I told you, the tools are Chef, Puppet, and Ansible. Because we want continuous integration from the testing to the deployment stage. So here, once configuration done with the deployment servers, right, which is for using for deployment especially with the configuration of tools is called Jenkins. Did you get my point? So where Jenkins, right, is connected with the configuration tools, right, with the configuration from the development team, developers, then whatever code is coming from the development to testing, continuously automating to the for deployment. Did you get my point, guys? So
Yes.
now coming to the phase here, the whatever development to right testing and deployment. This process in traditional approach is happening that with a lot of time consuming that, but now it is continuous automation, right? Did you get my point? If in when the code is deployed to the even after testing also, guys, once deploy the code to the servers using Jenkins tools, even will get a lot of test errors. This is I used to see that right and lively in my project experience. We'll get the event testers once it deployed us. Then what we'll do that again we'll test it because testing in manually in your machine is different and deployed to the client servers and again we'll get a lot of errors. Then again the QA team and development team work together, and they will check it where is the wrong, any configuration wrong, and they will do the deployment continuously to the servers. Did you get my point? You know my point, guys? Hello?
Yes. Yeah.
Now,
Yes, sir.
Yes,
when
we are here.
every release, year release 1 and release 2 like this, we'll get the continuous releases, right? That means continuous deployment, continuous releases, isn't it? Because every sprint, like here I mentioned you sprint 1, like this sprint 2, next one, sprint 1 success, deployed successfully into the server, again sprint 2, again sprint 3, sprint 2, like this we'll get the continuous releases, constant feedback from the clients. That is saying agile methodology, isn't it? If any requirement missing in the sprint 1, the additional requirement can add into the maybe in the sprint 2. Like that, the process of the flow from the development phase to deployment, we need a automation. Because of these tools, right? Development phase to the deployment phase, the performance will be very high and reducing time and reducing risk for that. So here, if you join the project as a DevOps engineer, right, your main responsibility to manage the code, right, GitHub. Commit it, right, approve that merging, these are all the permissions with the senior administrator or else sometimes technical architecture or sometimes code reviewer. These guys as a administration permission. I mean, suppose if you insert some code files, so the code files need to match to the existing code. Suppose sprint 1 completed, guys, that is already approved by your senior guy, and again sprint 2 is development completed. So that the new files again we need to match to the main folder of the GitHub. Then if before merging to the main folder of the GitHub, then who is the person, the senior person, maybe SME guys, technical architecture, these guys will approve that to match that the sprint to the existing right sprint 1, isn't it? Sometimes senior DevOps engineers they will do that, isn't it? Now a point, all of you.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
This continuous flow will happen commonly. That's why from development to deployment. So here, what DevOps engineer is going to learn it, right? To manage this process, to make this process automation from development to the deployment. So these tools are very useful in project. So which I introduced you Git, GitHub, and building tools Maven and IntelliJ, and Chef Puppet configuration tools. Configuration, always remember, these configuration tools most of the times using with the integration of the servers. When you want to deploy to the servers, we need the integration, we need a connection configuration from the right development phase. Then these tools are help to configuration, and these tools will help to continuous integration for continuous deployment. You can ask the question where I'm going to create the instance for that deployment servers with Jenkins. And Jenkins will create the instance. Now tell me, I'll either my GitHub link to the Jenkins or not, because all my code files in where? All my code files in where? In GitHub, right? So this URL of the GitHub,
Yes.
the URL of the GitHub, I'll give in the Jenkins browser. You understand? We'll deploy the code, right? You understand? The sprint 1 completed. The sprint 1 QA team tested successfully, no errors, and we are deploying to the Jenkins. Using Jenkins, why I'm uploading the code to the Jenkins? For deployment, isn't it? So first I need to upload that whatever the code successfully after testing, that sprint 1 code will deploy to Jenkins. So before deploying to deploying to the code, we need to create the instance and give the URL of the GitHub in Jenkins and upload it. Once uploaded, deploying to the servers continuously. Do you understand? Like this sprint 1 also continuously integration, continuous deployment, isn't it? Zero point.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
So here the DevOps engineer is the main responsibility to work with the Jenkins, right? GitHub and build tools, especially right. Now, whatever automation happening in your project, if you want to monitoring from the development phase to deployment, whatever happening, whatever configuration, whatever files uploading, whatever things happening. If you want to monitor that, there is a tool, Nagios, which is using to monitor your complete infrastructure of the project. Did you understand? Okay.
So is Nagios only the only tool in monitoring?
There is so many tools are there, but I'm telling you open source, which is commonly used by industry, is
Okay.
Nagios.
Got it.
So many companies using some different tools, right? Whatever, if you use another license tool, it doesn't matter. The purpose of monitoring tool, do monitoring of the infrastructure of the project. Okay, the look and feel it is different if you use a different tool, isn't it?
Yep.
Because you're not writing any logic there to monitor, just you are going to monitor that. Okay.
Okay.
Your main challenge here, right? Here, everything is a free defined. Whatever the tools are, it all free defined. We are using the right click on nest like drag and drop. We'll use that. But whenever you get the customization in terms of configuration, in terms of integration, we need to write that scripting for the customization in DevOps, especially. This regularly will not happen. Very rare cases, I mean, whenever customization you want it, we can use this Python for customization of your configuration, maybe integration. Depends on the requirement. Python is highly using, and the shell scripting. It is very useful. These two are basics is important whenever you want customization. Got it now? These are the challenging responsibilities. Whenever you want to customize anything in the project flow for automation of your project, so we need to customize it with using these languages. This DevOps tool will support Python and shell script. Clear point? Anyone? But nowadays, instead of shell scripting, companies are recommending to use the Python language for customization. Clear point? Okay.
That's pretty clear.
So this, whatever the tools I given you, I mentioned, these all tools normally in your machine, we can download, we can install in Windows or Ubuntu or Linux or CentOS. The best operating system for the project. So normally if you want to practice, you can install in Windows, we can practice. But nowadays most of the companies using what? They're using Linux instances. Even if you use the cloud services, there is giving the Linux instances, or you can use Ubuntu. Right? These are the best operating system for the in real-time project wise, because these operating systems are very flexible for the project development, security wise, implementation wise, right? Configuration wise, command wise, they're very flexible for that. Did you get my point? Okay.
Yes.
Yes.
So these are the best operating systems for the installation for the development project. Okay, and here one more tool is there very commonly using now, Dockers. Before going to introduce the what is the Docker, what are the tools I mentioned you, right? Nowadays, companies are going to work with the cloud, right? You know this, AWS and Microsoft Azure. These are very popular cloud computing providers. Companies asking that instead of managing your premises to install the DevOps tools, the companies are subscribing with the AWS. In AWS, they're creating all the instances of the DevOps tools, whatever the tools you wanted, Jenkins. In AWS, you can do, right? Whatever the tools you want, configuration tool you can use in AWS. You can use Nagios, whatever the tools you want, AWS is giving that. So you can just, in cloud only, all the instances you can use for your project. But it's obviously cost is a billing is very high to use the cloud computing services, right? Even Microsoft also giving the all DevOps tools in cloud itself only. All DevOps tools giving that. If you're using AWS to develop DevOps or Azure to develop the DevOps, doesn't matter. Any cloud. The purpose of use of DevOps tools is always same. You're working in the cloud, Amazon cloud or Azure cloud, or using the IBM cloud, or using the Bluemix cloud, whatever cloud, doesn't matter. The tools, what is the purpose? The created fund by founders, the purpose is always same. Clear now? But nowadays, most of the companies using cloud computing services with the DevOps instance. Some companies using directly, they are installing their own premises and they're doing the project. And they are using the cloud services at the time of deployment level. Right? They will do the complete project, internal company premises, when the project is coming to the last stage of the project, that means deployment stage. At the time of deployment stage, they are using the cloud services. Do you have a point? That is depends on client requirement, depends on the project. Isn't it? You clear, guys?
Yes.
Understand?
Yes, clear.
So these tools as a DevOps engineer, if you want to, even if you want not only to go as a DevOps engineer in your career, guys, this DevOps tool is now nowadays for every project is common. People saying that this DevOps tool is using for which type of project. You can use it for any project, Java project, a .NET project, any application development project, any PHP project, any big data project, any analytics projects, any deep learning projects, any machine learning project. Wherever you want to use the DevOps tool, you can use that. Because when DevOps is selected by your architecture for your project, definitely the project will finish with less time, with the reducing cost, with the high speed performance, immediate deliveries. That is the advantage getting the DevOps tools. Did you get my point?
Mhm.
Clear?
Yes. Yes, clear.
Yes, correct.
Yes.
So I have one more question here.
Hmm.
So instead of Nagios, can we even use the Amazon CloudWatch for monitoring purpose?
Yeah, yes. They have their own tools.
Okay.
They have own tools. Every company has own tools. Some companies use that, right? But of course, first, most of the companies, so what are they doing? They're doing the first open source priority. In case that tool is not suitable for their requirement, they can go for other tools. Their wish. A lot of tools are there,
Right.
right? Nowadays, DevOps tools, a lot of tools are coming that, but which are very common using industries. What I told you, 5 to 6 tools, right? These are very common. Jenkins is very common.
Yes.
Whenever you want continuous integration, whenever you want continuous deployment, Jenkins is very common. 0 point.
Yes.
Because of Jenkins, right, the project delivery is very fast. That I was observed that with my previous traditional experience when we didn't use DevOps tools, when I was using now DevOps tools, we're getting a lot of difference using that, and it makes the easy process for the development team and operation teams. Got a point. But 100% what rules you are following for the your project nowadays, right? When companies using DevOps tools or not, they are using very common methodology. What I mentioned you, agile methodologies, right? Clear now?
So even DevOps comes under Agile, isn't it?
Obviously, that's why I'm telling DevOps. If some people, it's agile rules.
Yeah,
Simply, I
because
can say that,
Agile is
isn't it?
something which is ready to change and the time to reduce the time to market. So even DevOps does the same thing.
Exactly, because what is agile saying? The constant feedback.
Yes.
That means when you get the constant feedback, when I get the continuous releases. Couple
Right.
point. When I got the when I'm getting the continuous releases as a stakeholder, definitely I'll give the constant feedback to my vendor, isn't it?
Okay.
That is giving even without DevOps tools used to happen that, but there is no automation in the time. But now when DevOps saying that yes, DevOps nothing but is the agile rules, because where is the continuous integration, where is the continuous deployment, then definitely is a continuous right feedback and constant feedback and continuous releases, isn't it?
Right.
Clear on point.
Yeah.
Here only companies recruiting the people who want to as the recruit DevOps engineer. If any company recruiting that, they are checking the basically operating system administration experience as a background of the previous experience. Maybe they are checking any DB experience. They are checking any operating system administration. So these guys used to play as core DevOps engineers in the project without writing the any code of development of the applications. And even it is not only for use for Linux administrators, these DevOps tools. It is useful for architectures, it is used for SMEs, it is useful for developers, right? Sometimes when admin is not available, DevOps, the admin developer only will take care of that, all these Jenkins instances and deployment and integrations. What a point. That's why I told you, in the DevOps word only, there is two words you can see, developments and operation teams, right? Okay. Okay, guys, any questions?
And I had one question, which so what you basically meant the difference between Git and GitHub is Git is a CLI and GitHub is a repository.
Exactly. Web interface is GitHub, right?
Okay.
Whatever repositories, whatever you're creating, that branches, what are the branches you want to commit, which files you want to commit it, which files you want to remove that. So that flexibility is a very right easy in Git command prompt,
Okay. So
right?
is it compulsory that we have to commit or we have to check out using only Git through
Yeah,
GitHub?
commit is obviously is important, right? When developer is going to write the code of his sprint,
No, I know
right?
that, but do we have to do it with only Git?
Sorry. Yeah, there is
Do
other
we have?
options also there. Right?
Oh, okay. There
There
are
is this
other
other
options too.
other options also
Okay.
there, but very commonly
Okay.
used.
So other version control probably be Bitbucket and everything like that, right? I mean, is that
Yes,
a version
yes,
control as well? Okay.
exactly, exactly.
Got it.
Because whatever the developer written the code today, maybe tomorrow is going to change, update the code. The requirement changing, maybe he's updating the code, and the version is changing automatically, right?
Correct. No. My question was, is it only one Git which has to fetch the data from GitHub, or can we use any other
So which
tools
I
other
seen
than?
still now we are using Git only. I didn't see the other tool right
Okay.
as a CLI for the Git. Maybe the cloud company providers giving the different options, right?
Okay. So most
It
of
is
the
very
companies they use
friendly.
only Git and GitHub.
Yeah, most of the times GitHub. Yeah, especially
Okay.
source code management. Yeah, that's why this SCM is nothing but survey, right? Whatever saying that, right? Version control means from BCS, isn't it? Version control system we are calling like that.
Hmm.
Because code is updating continuously, code changing that. So command prompt is Git is very commonly using that. I didn't see other
Yeah.
tool which is managing the GitHub browser. Yeah.
No. And config management tool, which one you will be explaining in depth? All of the three,
So
Puppet,
any
Chef,
one tool,
and
there is
Ansible?
three tools purpose. The chef, puppet, ansible purpose is same always. So
Okay.
any one tool you can learn from that three tools. Okay.
Okay.
So I'll
And
give
you
you
will be
either chef
teaching
or
Chef.
chef.
Okay.
Chefs.
Okay. Perfect.
If you learn chef, doesn't matter. You can easily work with the ansible
Yeah.
also. Okay.
Yeah, I have heard that. Yeah, correct.
Yeah. Any one tool you
And
can learn.
the Docker and Docker containerization, is it a
Yeah.
AWS tools
Docker
or
is
is it?
obviously yeah. Docker containers we can create in the cloud.
Okay.
If you have a good infrastructure in your premises, we can create in your premises also with multiple
Mm-hmm.
containers. Right? Suppose you want to deploy your application into 10 machines, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right? When you want to deploy the application 10 servers, we need to create the containers. Every server is one container, which is holding the CPU and RAM. So in that
Mm-hmm.
purpose, you can use the Docker special. Like you see in VMware, right? In VMware, what is done? We create the number of virtual machines,
Right.
right? So compared to the VMware, Docker is very flexible and very friendly for the project
Oh,
deployment and
is
create
it
virtual
similar
machines.
to the VMwares which we use?
Not similar. Whatever you create the new virtual machine, right?
Okay. Oh, but the
But
basic
compared
idea
to
is
the
the
Docker,
same.
it is yeah, basic idea, yes.
Okay,
So in
got it.
VMware, you're creating number of virtual machines, right? I can create the
Mm-hmm.
10 CentOS images. I can create the 40 CentOS images VMware, right? Got it
Yes.
now. But same, that is very flexible in the Docker. What I am doing that to create
Mm-hmm.
the number of containers. So when I'm deploying the servers, when I'm deploying my code to the multiple application servers. Okay.
Okay. All right.
Yes, guys. Any questions, Raghavendra?
No questions. I'm clear. What about you, Anirudh?
Okay. So these tools
No.
will start hands-on one by one. GitHub hands-on will do that first. Then after that, we'll do that Docker and the configuration tools. The project flow, what I'm mentioning SDLC process, according to SDLC process, we'll go to length one by one, right? First, development started, code management, then source code management completed, then we'll go to build tools, how we are using Maven, how we are building the path, how we are creating the jars, how we are uploading the jars to the GitHub repository. So all we'll see that. Then after that, we'll come to configuration. Then we'll come to Jenkins. Then we'll do the deployment. That's this flow. There is a continuous, there is a 10 steps as a DevOps consultant engineer following that in the project. The 10 steps will do that. That 10 steps will continuously automating that from the step 1 to step 10. It is repeating continuously. Iteration and incremental model. Simply, if you want to understand, it is iteration and incremental model. Did you get my point?
Yes.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah,
That's what we call it as agile, isn't it?
exactly, exactly. Okay, so this we are going to learn the flow one by one tool hands-on once we start the classes with the
Sure.
hands-on.
I need to
Firstly, your system should be good configuration. 8 GB is the minimum is better, or Windows 7 or Windows 10, or doesn't matter. Okay, if you have Ubuntu or only Linux is in your machine, no problem. Okay,
Okay.
And is it you had a doubt, right?
sorry.
No, I don't really have any questions as of now. I don't really.
Okay.
Okay, guys. Right,
Yeah, yeah. Okay.
right. Thank you, guys. See you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Satyagaru. I'll get back to you by Monday.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye. Thank you, Raghav and Anirudh. Bye.
Yeah, sure. Bye.
Purnima,
Chappu.
trainer వెళ్ళిపోయారా?
Skype లో కరా. Bye.
Okay. Science.